Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. It's another episode. We're just rolling through day by day, week by week. The journey has come on. We are also in the presence of the King of Asgard, but I'm also going to change his superhero title because now he's turned into Aquaman. So, Matt, how are you today? How are things?
What?
So you told me before we started that you literally have 4 unopened water bottles because of your gaffe a couple weeks ago. So you have 4 unopened water bottles, so you have a bunch of water, which makes you Aquaman.
No, I have 4 opened water bottles.
Yeah, I mean, still, open.
Yeah, I mean, I'm terrified after what happened. It was just a bad look. And I didn't realize how bad it was, so I saw the video. So it was actually unintentional. I have a bad habit of grabbing a water bottle, drinking half before I go to bed, coming home from work, grabbing a new water bottle, coming up steps, but like, oh, I already have one. Then I'm like, well, I'm going to drink the cold one, not the warm one. So I drink half of the cold one, and then it's the cycle. It just keeps repeating. So
it's the circle.
Yeah, they're pretty much all half full.
Wow. Well, hey, you said half full, not half empty. That's the glass half full type of mentality right there.
Perspective is everything.
And that, my friends, is how you start off a podcast episode. Let's just jump into it today. Hopefully everybody has their opened water bottles or their nice filled up glasses of Whaaaat. But today we are going to talk about actually holy water for a couple minutes here before we get started. We are going to talk about the holy His Holiness. I feel like he has so many different names. Papa it's almost Papa Frisco, Papa Friscus. Yeah, I'm probably just making these up as I go along, but in America we call him the Pope Francis. Matt, it seems as though when you're at the Vatican, it's holy. I mean, and I feel like that's really dumb to say because the Pope resides in the Vatican. I think in what I've researched, the only people who are part of the Vatican itself can only live in the Vatican. And I think that is correct as far as that. I'm not looking for a fact check, but I don't know if you've heard that fact before.
I just fact checked it right now. You're correct.
Okay, good. Yeah. Great. So, of course, there's a ton of visitors that come and visit Pope Francis or the Pope itself. But Matt, Pope Francis had a little surprise visit. It's none other than the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Yes, legit, there was a person who was dressed up as Spider-Man visiting the Pope while the Pope was, just touring around the Vatican. Matt, it's very surprising how open and public the Pope is in comparison to like us when we literally have like the Secret Service all around our president.
Yeah, I mean, he just loves the people and he does what he wants. I'm watching the handshake right now. That was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I feel like Spider-Man's a pretty good superhero to meet the Pope. I mean, Peter Parker is a pretty chill guy. Or I can't remember the name of the new Spider-Man.
So you either have Tobey Maguire, oh gosh, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and I forget who plays as Miles Morales. So, to me, Tobey Maguire will always be in my heart as my Spider-Man. But Tom Holland's kind of growing on me.
I've yet to see the Tom Holland movies. It's on my bucket list.
Yes.
I also love the fact that Spider-Man gave him a mask.
Yes. So,
because let's be real, if there's any person on Earth who can shoot webs out of them, it's probably the Pope.
So Matt, there was an actual reason behind why Spider-Man visited the Pope. I'm going to botch this name itself. So a 28-year-old named Matteo Villardita. Or Viadita, because there's 2 L's.
Right.
2 L's make a Y. We're going to call him Matteo because that's his first name. I got that one right. Yep. So he, of course, wears an outfit to cheer up hospitalized children. Those like in the Vatican's pediatric hospital, which he planned to visit later that Wednesday. So obviously he was sweating under the suit, which not surprised. It's not like what they make in the movies. It's a nice fabric. But he basically asked the Pope to pray for the children and their families. And, it's one of those cool things where Matteo actually has made more than 1,400 video calls during the pandemic since he wasn't able to visit in person. And now that restrictions are kind of being lifted at this time, dependent upon the country or state, he can now visit them again. So I thought it was cool, the whole backstory behind it. But of course, it is very weird to see Spider-Man meeting the Pope. I don't know your thoughts about that.
I think this guy's just a real life superhero. I think he deserves to don the Spider-Man costume, mask, everything. This guy's just a real life superhero. And yeah, people is gonna like it is funny because Spider-Man's dressed up seeing the Pope. But it was actually like for a good cause, and this is what the Pope is all about, is spreading good joy and news and Jesus. So I think this is pretty cool. I would have loved for them to do the Spider-Man meme.
The point,
like if the Pope would have put the mask on and did the Spider-Man meme, I think that probably would have been the most viral picture of 2021.
Oh man, that would have been hilarious. But yeah, so Matt, I thought we'd kind of go over today. We all know the Pope likes to bring in the general audience, as they call it, or just guests. But I thought it would just be hilarious just to imagine maybe some other visitors that the Pope would encounter, real or fiction. Matt, we've seen a group of NBA basketball players visit the Vatican. I've personally seen the Harlem Globetrotters visit the Pope in the Vatican. Two really cool experiences, both basketball. Go figure. But Matt, any fictional or non-fictional individuals who you would think, yes, perfect?
Gandalf. I don't know why that's the first thing, but I don't even know if Gandalf is Lord of the Rings.
Oh God, you're asking the wrong guy here.
Let's go to trust the internet.
I'm gonna counter that with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but when he was older.
Okay, I was gonna say it'd be kind of cool if he met like Darth Vader, like the yin and the yang.
Yin and yang.
Obi-Wan would be good too. I feel like, yeah, when he's older, when he kind of like the Jesus look. Let's be real.
I'm kind of curious if Ewan McGregor actually has met the Pope before. Matt, any others while you're checking to see if Gandalf is an actual what do you call it?
Individual? Gandalf is from Lord of the Rings, so credit to me, I was right. Let's see. That's a tough question because I feel like the Pope would want to meet everyone. I think it'd be cool if he met Brennan and Dale.
No,
Step Brothers.
Like in the suit and the tuxedos and the job interview.
Like, you want to go do karate in the Vatican? Yup.
Yup. Matt, I did a quick Google search. Ewan, I forgot, how do you say his first name? Ewan or Ian? Ewan.
Yeah, Ian.
Ian.
I don't know.
Obi-Wan. The young Obi-Wan.
Right.
I typed in Ian McGregor meeting the Pope, and all I saw is Angels and Demons, and it's literally when Ian is a priest.
Oh.
So I was like, oh.
That'd fit well,
he
then.
was in that movie.
That would work out well.
So I thought this was really cool, Matt. This was a fun opportunity for a man who's doing God's work, and I hate to be punny about that, but it certainly is doing God's work, and is making the children happy in a circumstances that could not be happy.
Wouldn't see Batman do this. Just saying.
Oh my gosh. You just had to.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to hop into another interesting story. It seems as though, like when we talk on our segments, there is some recurring themes behind some of our discussions for the podcast. Oddly enough, sex dolls fall into this category. We have another sex doll story for y'all, so buckle up. Let's get on with this sex doll story.
Sound the alarm.
Sound the alarm, everybody. I hope we don't have this recurring as much where we need to add an alarm sound effect. But this was located in Japan. So this was on Japan's northeast coast. What was happening was there was a YouTuber who was just filming his day in a life vlog. Wow. I of course, today is the day where I picked the wrong people's names, and of course I botched them. His last name's Tanaka, but I'm going to go with that. Tanaka. Natsuki Tanaka. So Tanaka was filming, and he realized that there was somewhat of a body in the northeast coast off of Japan. He thought it was a person who was drowning or dead. So he called up a bunch of rescuers, emergency rescue divers, and they were baffled after finding out that this was a sex doll.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't really blame this kid or YouTuber. I don't know how old. But I would probably do the same thing. I'd probably be freaked out. Like, how are you supposed to know from that distance that it's a sex doll? You know, it looks like a real person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is some interesting pictures of everybody helping the sex doll up out of the.
And it's even the hair looks really realistic on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was an interesting theory when Tanaka, quoting him while filming a finished video. I thought a dead body floating in the water had washed up, but it was a blow up doll. Thankfully the adult toy was rescued, quote, safely. According to Tanaka. Thank the Lord.
Thank God, because everybody was very concerned about that.
Now, Matt, the biggest question that probably everyone wants to know who's listening to the Funny Business Podcast is probably wondering, how the heck did it get there in the first place?
I have a good theory.
Go for it.
Great theory.
Remember
our first topic of sex dolls? They were going to be used as fans in Korea?
Yes.
Maybe they just chucked them in the ocean.
Yes, I thought
because now fans might be coming back.
I thought it was somebody who was fed up with their silicone soulmate and decided to.
Could be, or what if someone tried to fake their own death
by throwing a blow-up doll into the ocean?
Yeah,
pretty plausible.
It could be. I mean, I don't know how you would do it. Maybe if he tried to cause a scene and jumped, but he jumped in a spot where no one could see him and he got away, and then there was a sex doll, the sex doll looks like female, whoever it was. Maybe they just faked their own death. They could be in Europe right now. Who knows?
Living their best life.
Yeah, but it also makes you wonder, what really, like you said, what really happened. But if someone did plant this as a fake. What really happened? What's really going on here? Who's dead?
Who's dead? Or who's alive?
Or who's alive?
Yeah, this is some really this is a really open story for us to decipher, and hopefully it doesn't lead to the bad. Hopefully it only leads to the good, that somebody was just fed up with using a sex doll. Well, how about the Miracle on Ice story? They actually found a soulmate, so they had to dump their sex doll. Maybe there was a girlfriend or a boyfriend coming over, and they had to ditch it, and because they didn't want to be weird and found out they had a full-size sex doll, and they had to chuck it somewhere. And of course they didn't want to chuck it in the trash, because then what if the girl, or what if the guest comes out and finds the sex doll in the trash can? So of course they do the smart thing and they throw it in the ocean.
Yeah, or it was a prank and someone got it as a gag gift, and then they just didn't know what to do with it, so they just threw it in the ocean. Because
that's the smart thing to do when it comes to recycling.
Or there's a crazy ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend broke into their ex's apartment, stole the sex doll, threw it in the ocean because they were jealous.
We're just coming up with some really twisted stories here.
Listen, I think one of them is bound to be true. I don't see anything that we missed that could be it.
We're going to see a follow-up, and I'm going to text you as soon as the follow-up happens. Oh my God, Matt. I'm going to say you were right or I was right. And I'm going to send you the link. And of course, we're going to have to follow up on the Funny Business Podcast itself. But
I haven't heard one theory that I didn't think was true.
Yeah. I cannot. I mean, we have said a lot of different things and a lot of strange topics that have come out of the woodwork. And as always, any crazy story like this was, of course, chronicled on Twitter. So people were kind of freaking out when they were seeing it on Twitter. Of course, lots of questions were raised.
The legs are abnormally long on that sex doll.
Hey, Long legs.
I think the legs are like as tall as my body. From this picture I'm looking at.
Maybe maybe no, and this is actually maybe a scientific theory. Maybe by being in the water, it got it maybe expanded.
Okay, yeah, that makes. We're gonna go with that. Yeah, we're gonna go with that because that makes more sense. Also, they're pulling it up and the head is gone, but in the picture of it floating in the water, there's a head.
Matt is really deep into this, ladies and gentlemen. You can just see it on
I'm
his
a little
face.
too deep into this.
Matt,
there is also a crowd of people watching this.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it was like a sporting event.
And this would happen to a YouTuber, by the way. Like,
yeah,
imagine how many views this kid's gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, anything happens in Japan, we usually try not to talk about it. What happened in Japan? So
true, except the Olympics.
Yes, which is coming up. And hopefully we'll be able to conclude it with our final exercise for today. And when I say exercise, it's time for another edition of What's the Word? Fun recurring segment that we have in the first half before we go to commercial break. Matt, congratulations on drinking water from a water bottle, whatever. What this topic, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, hope you enjoy, is I am on randomwordgenerator.com. I'm only picking one word, and I literally click a certain amount of times. Matt, what's the click number for today?
I'm wearing a Steve Nash jersey, so 13.
Okay, 13 clicks. Whatever the first word is, we have to react from it. This is inspired by Eugene Yang from the Try Guys. So 13 clicks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Matt, the first word for today, and what's the word, is depend.
Depend. You know, when someone asks if I want to do something, I think the first thing I always say is it depends on. And like I don't know where I'm going with this.
I can tail off of it. So
okay.
Some people will text me and be like, "Hey, I have like a question or a favor to ask you," and I'm always responding, "Depends on what it is." Like they won't outright ask me what the heck they need. They're gonna have to send me a first text first and be like, "Hey, I got a question or favor to ask you." And my response is depends on what the question or favor is.
Yeah. Especially like if someone's just like, hey, can you help me with something? I was like, well, that depends. Because like I got a lot of stuff to do. How long is this going to take? Where are we going? Type of deal.
My favorite is those open-ended, like, it depends. Like, I think I was in my master's course the one time it was in person. And somebody had a question. And our professor was so upfront. He's like, look. It depends. That's my $1 million response. It depends. And it was right sometimes. Literally saying it depends was the right answer for that scenario. So yeah, depend. Depend on. Matt, the next one. Invasion.
Invasion. Whatever happened to the cicadas?
I think they're still around.
I literally have, like, I thought we were
going to
get,
like,
any?
No,
we haven't had any at my house. I haven't heard a single one all year.
I've never seen one ever.
Ever? Oh, they're ugly looking.
Truckers. The colors are beautiful. The way they look is, it's a nice bright blue and a red. Yeah.
What?
Like it's bright. Like some of the colors are like bright blue and like red.
Of cicadas?
Yeah. How do I know the colors?
They're not. There's no shot.
Yes, they are.
They're like brown. They're a bug. There's no shot at cicada. I am looking it up.
Look it up.
Cicadas. Cicadas.
Big red eyes.
They're brown.
Okay, well, we'll debate that for another day. Maybe it depends on the way you look at them in the sun.
Your eyes checked.
Yeah, okay. Well, you had the spotted lanternfly going on.
Oh, we had tons. Those things
Those
suck.
are bad.
Yeah. You know what? You know what this cicada looks like? Kind of looks like the Pokemon Butterfree. The butterfly one. It looks exactly like it.
Okay. I'll let you. Ooh,
In case you were wondering.
Somebody I just saw, I literally had a Google image and somebody was about to eat a cicada. I'm going to try
I saw that. I've seen someone do that.
In my head.
Yep, we're going to end up like that Angels pitcher at the Yankees game yesterday, just chucking all over the place.
Matt, the next word, fireplace.
There is nothing better to do on a summer night than sit by a fireplace with a beer. Nothing.
I'm going to have to counter that and maybe say fall.
Okay, yeah, I'll say fall.
Yeah, it's like...
I mean, summer is good too with the fire.
Yeah, no, it is.
At like 10, 11 at night.
Yeah, not like today's weather. It's almost 90 degrees at almost 6 o'clock in the afternoon on this night of this recording. So
I had my AC on full the whole ride home. My car was still hot. I was still sweating.
Yikes.
Just couldn't catch up.
Yikes. My favorite pastime was back when my parents didn't have a wood stove. There was actually like an oil, is it something like a furnace, like a fire? It looked like a fireplace, but obviously it was working from like
a pellet stove.
I'm gonna say oil. Like what? It's oil based. Like electric is baseboard, but then there's like oil is heating.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. And I used to actually stand in front, like literally right in front of the fireplace. I mean, it wasn't like it was like artificial. Yeah, it definitely had to be oil. Gas. That's what it was. Gas, not oil. God, I'm having a great time.
Close enough.
I used to stand in front of the fireplace, and then I used to run to my mom, and I used to sit on my mom's lap back when I was like 5. I'd be like steaming. Like I would like be red in the back because I'd be standing so much in the back.
There's nothing better.
So, but no, definitely a beer around with some friends at a fireplace. That is always really nice.
You a big s'mores guy? I think we may have got into this before.
Yes.
Not a huge s'mores guy.
I know you're not. Yeah.
I'll roast a marshmallow, but
Did I ever tell you the story about leaving my dad outside at night at a fireplace?
No.
So I forget when I was home, but we had a fireplace, and it was mom. I think it was everybody. It was the whole family. It was mom, dad, Phil, Trent, mom, dad, Phil, Trent, me. There we go. And mom left, and then Phil and I were still out there. Trent was probably the second one to go, and then Phil left. So there was just dad and I. And then we both fell asleep. And I woke up and I went inside. And my dad comes running in and yelling at my mom, "Why did you guys leave me outside? It could have been bear meat."
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Dad, why did you fall asleep?
He's not wrong.
I know he's not, but why'd you fall asleep, Dad?
I could have woke him up.
Yeah, well, you never poke a bear, as they always would say.
Fair point.
All right, Matt, next word. Possible.
Anything's possible.
I knew that was coming out of your mouth.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. KG's the best.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Next one. Advisor.
You know what's crazy? College advisors, the amount of times I've talked to I've never talked. I'll say it this way. I did not have one interaction with my high school advisor until senior year when they told me, where do you want to go to college? But you talk to your college advisor every semester. It's crazy. I feel like high school advisor, I don't even know who it was. I think I talked to him once. That's insane.
I actually switched advisors every year.
In high school?
Yeah.
Really?
So I had freshman year was Mrs. Kitch. She's the librarian. And then sophomore year, I wanted to do so you had to, did you do a senior project?
Yes.
So we had to do a senior project. I believe you had to do first it was a service requirement. And then the next thing it turned to this big binder. We had to do a bunch of job interviews, cover letters, resumes, letter of recommendations, and all that. I
had to do a job shadowing of a job you wanted to do, kind of that deal. And then we had a presentation we had to do in front of some teachers.
Yeah. So I had Mrs. Kitch, and then there was a therapeutic writing program that counted as a senior project. And I actually didn't participate in it because I was taking career prep, which was that binder thing. So then by my junior year, it was Mr. Ahern, because technically as the teacher, as the advisor, yada, yada, yada. And then because I completed it, I then had Sean, who's obviously my best friend, which today's Friday. I'm actually going to a Mexican place with him, his family, and Jenna, probably after the release of this podcast. So
nice.
Literally 4 years, I had a different advisor every year. But you're right, Matt. Like I had my was advisor's phone number, and you didn't just talk, like, if depending on the relationship, I'm sure you had a better relationship, but like, depending on the relationship, like, you talked about other things besides school, like, or what do you want to do with your life? Like, those people became a part of your life that was like life changing in that point, or life threatening if you were my advisor.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, college advisors they just have a different vibe. I don't know if it's just because they work at a college and like high school sucks, but who knows?
Yeah. All right, Matt, last word. Or two. We'll do two. Sofa.
I don't like sleeping on sofas.
Do you like sleeping on futons?
Yeah. Well,
Watch your words.
Is different. A futon is different than a sofa. Like a futon you can make into a bed. Sofa, like when you sleep on the couch or anything, like I like it completely flat.
Flat.
Yeah.
Dumb question. Is there a difference between a couch and a sofa?
I'm going to go with no.
Okay. I feel like no one ever calls it a sofa and calls it a couch.
Yeah, I feel like if you call it a sofa, like you're super rich. I feel like rich people don't call it couches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that makes sense in my head, but that's how I view it.
Yeah. No, that's true. All right, Matt, how many clicks for this final one?
3.
1, 2, 3. Last one. Salad.
Have you ever been to Mod Pizza?
I think we had this discussion before. I have not.
We got Mod Pizza for lunch on Monday night, or for dinner on Monday night, and I got a salad. One of the best salads I've ever had in my life. It was so good. It was just like mixed greens, grilled chicken, spicy chicken sausage, roasted red peppers. I got pineapple in it, corn, roasted garlic. It just got ranch. It was phenomenal. And Mod Pizza is known for their pizza, obviously called Mod Pizza. Salads are phenomenal.
Mod salads.
And a little PSA before you go: don't ever go to Salad Works, because it is literally $15 for a salad. You get like 4 toppings and a meat.
That sounds like a very familiar place that both you and I have been a part of, that was very close to home.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, and there was a better alternative off.
It's about the same deal. It's about the same deal. I mean, it's a tasty salad, just not worth the money.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, the only thing that I can only say coming out of this salad is in SpongeBob, look at all these fancy people eating salads.
Salads are so good.
They are good. I wish I was able to have I'm all like, I don't think I've ever been to a restaurant and have just gotten a salad for dinner, like a chicken Caesar salad or, a specialty salad. I don't think I've ever had that before. Not saying I don't want to try it. It's just, I don't know. I kind of feel like salad is meant to be an appetizer and meant to be like a small bowl before you go. But I just never had that not opportunity. Why am I saying like I feel like I've never had the opportunity to eat a salad? Like
for $1, you can donate a salad to Mike's so he can have it for dinner. Text salad to 570.
Well, while we get demonetized, we're going to take a quick commercial break. That's What's the Word. We'll catch you in the sports. Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today. Solo.to, it's the way to go. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
Okay, let's slide into the sports topics we have for you all today. We're not going to talk much playoff basketball, but Mike, I have one stat. So right now, the Suns are up 3-2 on the Clippers. We're 1 win away. Mike, there are 4 players in NBA history that have had 29 plus points, 9 plus assists, and 0 turnovers in a conference finals or NBA finals game. Can you name the 4 players?
Sure. 1, Michael Jordan.
No.
Oh, shit. Kobe Bryant.
No.
Chris Paul.
No.
I give up.
Okay, LeBron James.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Magic Johnson. Larry Bird.
Oh, this 4th one.
And Cam Payne, the backup point guard for the Suns.
What?
Yes. I think it was game 1 when they won against Clippers. He went off, and that's just a list that he should not be
what
on.
A freaking list.
At all. I love Cam Payne. Does not deserve to be on that list. It's crazy. But let's stick with basketball. Mike, we had a feud on Twitter that I don't think anyone really saw coming or expected out of these 2 people. But it's another feud of old-time player versus current player. It is Scottie Pippen versus Kevin Durant.
Uh-oh.
So Scottie Pippen has... Let's talk about Scottie Pippen first. He is just saying whatever he wants ever since The Last Dance. Like, whatever. Like, ever since that came out, he's like, yeah, screw MJ. This is about me now. And then on the flip side, ever since Kevin Durant's burner account got caught, now he just tweets whatever he wants. And it's kind of funny. So Scottie Pippen was doing an interview with GQ, and they were talking about Kevin Durant compared to LeBron James. So Mike, here's a quote from Scottie. I couldn't find the whole quote, but this is good enough.
Go for it.
Has he surpassed LeBron? Nah. He tried to beat the Bucks instead of utilizing his team. LeBron James would have figured out how to beat them. KD is a shooter, a scorer, but he doesn't have what LeBron has.
Oh boy.
Your thoughts?
Well, I think Scottie is right. However, I think Scottie gave LeBron too much credit as far as the whole team player thing.
Okay, go on. I want to hear more about that.
So, I'm trying to just think of like some moments. So, okay, the most notable when the Cavs played against the Warriors. It wasn't LeBron that made the game-winning shot. It was Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie basically just brought up the ball. Yeah, LeBron blocked Andre Iguodala for the game-leading 2-point layup. But it wasn't that LeBron made the game-winning shot. It was Kyrie. Additionally, too, with back in the Mickey ring, the NBA Finals against the Heat, you know, he had some pretty nice stat lines, but it, you know, I mean, back when, what was it, Game 6 or Game 7, Rondo was going absolutely off, and Rondo kept the game together. So I think in the scenario with Durant, you know, Durant tried getting those game-winning shots. Like, you know, it was all on Durant. It was all on Durant. Whereas, like, I think LeBron sometimes scapegoats sometimes as far as his wins and losses, like because the team is actually playing. But yeah,
I agree with some of that. I agree with some of it. I'll never forget one of those stupid regular season game. It was the Heat and the Jazz, and it was during the big fiasco. I think it was in LeBron's first year in Miami. Everyone was like, whose team is it? Is it D Wade's team? Is it LeBron's team? Who's taking the last shot? And I'll never forget, the Heat were down like 1, and LeBron passed it to a wide open Udonis Haslem, who usually makes that shot 9 out of 10 times, and he missed. And everyone was all over LeBron because he didn't take the shot. But like you said, he passed it to the guy that was open, who makes that shot all the time. Where I don't agree with Scottie Pippen in this scenario, Kevin Durant made one of the greatest shots in NBA playoff history to send that game to overtime. So it's not like he was just chucking up shots and they were missing. He carried that team. Like, if without Kevin Durant, that series was over in 5. Like, because James Harden was injured and because Kyrie Irving was injured, they needed Kevin Durant. Like, it's not like Kevin Durant played bad and that's why they lost. They lost because Kevin Durant was the only one that played good.
Right. Yeah, because he had a 6 stat line in his last game and they ended up losing still.
Yeah, he scored almost 40 in every game. And of course, Kevin Durant responded. Part of Durant's quote, "Didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up the play for a better shooter." Savage.
Boy, ever since Lana, what?
Whoa. Moving on. No, that was, yeah. Kevin Durant's Twitter is just phenomenal. Great follow. And Mike, of course, it can't be a basketball fight without Stephen A. Smith getting involved. The GOAT, the legend himself. He was getting into it with Scottie Pippen on Twitter. So Stephen A. was talking about it on a First Take. Scottie Pippen tweeted at Stephen A. Smith and said, and then he tweeted at King James, LeBron James, "won a championship without any help." To which then, what did Stephen A. Smith respond? Oh no, Scottie Pippen then responds again, "2016 finals, my man. Which other star was out there with LeBron?" And again added Stephen A. Smith. As Mike just said, Kyrie Irving made the game-winning shot. So Stephen A. quote tweets and said, "I already told you, man. Who the hell is Kyrie Irving to you? Slava Medvedenko?" Which is an all-time. You got to hear Stephen A. Smith say that name. It's the funniest thing of all time. Scottie Pippen's kind of going off the wall.
It's like old Yeller. Is really the things that he's saying is worth listening to? Like,
oh, that's not where I thought you were going with old Yeller. I thought you were going to talk about the end of the movie. Yikes.
Oh,
that's where I thought you were going. Okay. So Scottie's a big LeBron defender, which it kind of seems like he just really hates MJ. Because saying LeBron won championships with no help, he won every championship with help. The Heat, he had D Wade and Bosh. The Cavs, he had Kyrie. The Lakers, Anthony Davis. Like, I feel like Scottie's trying too hard here.
And Alex Caruso.
Irrelevant. Irrelevant.
I think Scottie having the opportunity to talk about a player who is in obviously the contention between talking versus Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Like, of course, because of Scottie's feelings, he's obviously going to side with LeBron James in that discussion, in that debate. But it's odd that he's piecing off, going headbutting Durant, then moving. It's weird.
It's like he's trying to make a name for himself again. Kind of.
It's like he's stirring up shit. Like, that's all he's doing. Like,
and he's like a top 50 NBA player of all time. I mean, I understand maybe he doesn't feel like he got the respect he deserves, but then Durant's right. When you refuse to go into the game, you kind of lose respect to your teammates. So how are fans supposed to respect you?
Mm-hmm.
So I can think we can say there's some people that hate Kevin Durant. Maybe there's some people that now hate Scottie Pippen. One guy in the NBA that every fan base not that he deserves it, but every fan base seems to kind of like come together to hate him right now is Trae Young. Have you seen any of Trae Young's highlights from these playoffs?
They're ridiculous.
They are, but he also just tries to draw a foul every time he has the ball. And a lot of people are hating him for that, which he really, like, a lot of the times he is trying too hard to draw a foul. But doesn't that also say something about the current NBA?
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook, Matt, and you might be able to debunk this for me. I saw that they're trying to instate new rules in the NBA as far as attempting to draw a foul from that. Is that correct?
Yes. So as far as I know, there's going to look at two things.
Oh, I was going to say three.
I can't think of the third off the top of my head.
Okay.
So the first one is like when a player has the ball, and you know how they like swoop under and up to try to like get their arm, like the defender hook their arm. They're going to try and get rid of that. And they can't jump, like if they're taking a jump shot, they can't jump right into contact. They have to jump straight up. So they can't jump into the contact. The contact has to come into them.
And I think additional one too is they have to land, like they can't kick their feet out.
Correct.
I think that's the third one.
Yep. We kind of saw that on Monday with Chris Paul. We'll get to that.
So I think, okay, Trae Young just has an overall hate just because he's scoring. Like, he's doing well, he's scoring, he's shooting ridiculous threes. There's no Steph Curry anymore, so who do we have to look at for threes? It's Trae Young now. You know, I think it's just it's like the heel in WWE. Like, there's the heel and there's the face, and by golly, Trae Young just got the heel in the storyline. But what I don't like about the rules was it's almost giving the defender more. It's almost more padding to that instance. So I think the one I'm totally fine with it giving away the whole swoop, like the is it? Well, I'll call it a swoop. Like, you take the ball from right to left. What I'm not okay with is a shot fake and then actually the person going into the foul. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of gray area as far as if that was an offensive foul or if it was a defensive foul, because we look at some people, it's almost rewarding the defense and being like, okay, you could do anything you want now, because them going up for a shot fake and them going up, the shot fake did its job.
So the shot fake's not the issue. The issue is like
going into the person.
So let's say the defender's coming from their right.
Right.
The issue, like, so if they're coming like this way, the issue is that you can pump fake and go straight up. You can't pump fake and then jump into him to the right and go up. You have to just do a regular shooting motion, because how many times do we see a guy coming off a screen and the defender's coming back and they stop and try to like jump backwards into him and they get the foul drawn. So the pump fake is fine.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to take away from like D Wade in this, because D Wade's pump fake back in the day was ridiculous. Like, it was clean.
It is also crazy. Players just don't pump fake anymore.
No.
Like, and if they do, it's not good. Like, you're right. D Wade had like the best pump fake ever. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. So everyone kind of hates Trae Young. I also think his hair has something to do with it. Like, he's got to do something about that. It just looks like a carpet.
Shave it.
Yeah, at that point, yeah. Honestly, he should just go bald. That's a great idea. What can you even do
with it? What can you even do with that hair?
It looks awful. Kevin Durant has bad hair too. But Mike, it got me thinking. Who are the most hateable players in the NBA? So let's get the two obvious ones out of the way. Mike.
Draymond Green.
And Alex Caruso. So there we go. Two most obvious ones. Do you have any other players you think are like the most hateable, that like you think of a guy and everyone just kind of hates him?
So I had a quick lunch break, Matt, and I was watching. Oddly enough, I saw a random video. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll watch it. It's like Time's most disrespectful things in the NBA. So this seemed like YouTube was listening to me for today's recording. Lance Stevenson. The man just wants to get punched, but at the same time, he's kind of hilarious. Like he's doing the band, like he's doing the guitar after he shot that three. But then when Russell Westbrook got the three and he got fouled by Lance, he was doing the guitar thing too. Like, I mean, that was pure, not entertainment, but that was just gamesmanship. Like no one got technicals, but like it just. Lance knows how to get under your skin, and I'm sure our pal LeBron would understand how to get under somebody's skin.
Yeah, he's a pest. That video of him blowing into LeBron's ear was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And LeBron just starts laughing. Oh my gosh, that's a good choice. I have a few. The first one I'm gonna say is Patrick Beverley. Because he's so bad on offense and he's really good on defense, but he just talks so much crap. And yesterday, there was a play in the game where Chris Paul went up for a shot. He kind of kicked his leg out a little bit, but I thought Beverly more so hit him in the hip, and Chris Paul went down bad. And Chris Paul is on the floor, like, in pain, and Beverly's, like, mocking him, like, jumping up and down on the floor. That was bad. It also looks bad because he got a flagrant one. So it's like, okay, dude, you're mocking him for flopping, but you got a flagrant.
You just get a flagrant one. So
you're kind of an idiot on that part. Other hateable players in the NBA. Did you have any others?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
That man just wants to get into a fight again. Like the man wants to try to get punched.
He actually set a record in the NBA yesterday in playoffs. He scored 15 points in 11 minutes, and that was the quickest amount of time, or the least amount of minutes anyone's ever played while scoring 15 points in the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of cool. Another one that I have, Danny Green.
Yeah.
But it's more so just for the fans that he plays on because he just forgot how to shoot. Like, he came in the league with the Cavs, was awful, went to San Antonio, shot the lights out of the building, and then he just sucked. And he got a contract, I think, from Cleveland. He went back with LeBron. And then the Lakers, he sucked in the playoffs. And the Sixers, I mean, he was injured, but he couldn't hit a shot. And I think people really hate him for that.
Oh, gosh. Drake, wait. No, he doesn't play.
Oof.
Oh, God. Where was I going with that? I wanted to make that joke so bad that I completely forgot. Joel Embiid, like, the man, again, it's just anybody who just wants to start a fight. Like, the man likes to trash talk. Can't trash talk anymore. But, yeah, he's another guy.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice. Because I feel like if you're outside of Philly, you don't really like him too much. I mean, I kind of like Joel because he's funny. But I'm going to throw two Suns players out there because I feel like non-Suns fans don't like Chris Paul because he's a known flopper. And Jay Crowder. I mean, I love Jay Crowder, but if he was on the other team, I'd probably hate him because he talks a lot of shit. I mean, he plays very good defense, but he had a play yesterday where he grabbed Paul George in the jersey on a step back, and then he put his hand up and like continued the follow through like on the defense and put him right in the eye. Got a flagrant foul. If I was on the Clippers, I'd be pissed. All-time hateable NBA players, like not just current players.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I think I had one on the top of my head. I feel like I was gonna say Iverson, but I feel like I'm just thinking of the crossover, like the step over. Lakers fans probably don't like him for that.
Wait, did you see that stat line for Tyronn Lue? As far as like he has like the best record for
elimination games.
Yeah, like come on, man, he had freaking LeBron like all those years. Like
he is a very good coach, though.
He is.
Like they've been down 0-2 in every series this playoffs, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals down 3-2.
He's had a little help.
Does LeBron help? Yes. Also, before we move on to another sport, shout out Kawhi Leonard. His birthday today. One of the funniest videos I've ever seen ESPN post was just insane. That video of Mike Breen after the Clippers made a run in that game, and they went up to Kawhi in the box, who, by the way, why can't he be on the floor with his team player much? People are asking. And he's just sitting there quietly, and Mike Breen's like, Kawhi Leonard going crazy. That's why Mike Breen is the best.
Bang!
His bangs are the best too.
Oh.
All right, last sports topic we have today. The Tour de France. You can't say Tour de France, it's Tour de France.
Tour de France.
Started last Saturday, and wow, did it start off with a bang. If you did not see the viral video on the internet, basically, it's sign gate. So it was the first stage of the Tour de France. The cyclists are all piled up, neck to neck, right on top of each other, and standing right on the side of the road with a huge sign that's like basically in front of the bicyclists. A cyclist hits it, huge crash, like 30-40 bikers fell, chaos ensues. Sign lady has single-handedly brought all the attention to the Tour de France, and I've seen people say this is staged.
Oh, so it's a sign gate.
Sign gate.
I know you said it, but
it's a conspiracy theory. Did the Tour de France do this to gain more attention?
Ooh, juicy details.
You said you knew what the sign said. What does the sign say?
Literally said, "Hi, Grandma, Grandpa." That's all it said.
That makes me actually believe that it was staged.
No political affiliation, no, political, anything. It just, "Hi, Grandma, Grandpa." Some variation of that.
That sign was absurdly long.
Yeah. Like, get your standard sign poster board. You don't need a freaking cardboard widescreen sign.
That had to be, I'm going to look at the video again. That had to be like 2.5 feet.
I mean, it certainly was the length of that woman's leg. I feel like that would be that.
God, this video is so funny. It's not funny, but it's funny.
It's not funny.
It's kind of funny, though. I mean, everyone's okay, so we can say it's funny. So the big news today, they're looking to press charges on Sign Lady.
I'm not surprised.
No one can find her. She's missing.
She's the sex doll.
She oh my God. That is, you're a genius.
It's not.
You're a genius.
Not.
You just figured it. No, I believe it. That's a sex doll. She's dead. Yeah, she just bolted after this, and no one can find her. It's kind of like it. I woke up, I saw the video, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then it's still a story like 4 days later. Could you imagine? How do you think you feel as a biker, first stage of the Tour de France, and you get crashed because a lady had a sign in play?
I'd be upset. That's for something as like, I can understand if it was like part of the track, like part of the road that like ended up being the reason why people started falling. Like, yeah, you can't control that, but the ladies and the people all around, you can control that. And it's just awful that she was the one that caused that much destruction, as far as her standing in front of one biker. It took one biker for, I don't even know how many people fell. It looked like all of them to me.
A lot. Here's my other question. Where was like Tour de France security? Like, clearly you could see she was over the line. So where's the person to be like, hey lady, back up? Because like everybody else was standing way far off, and she was just kind of doing her own thing.
I wonder how unemployment is over in France.
It's a great question. I don't know. I don't even know if there is Tour de France security, because they kind of just ride like in neighborhoods, I think. I think that's how the Tour de France works. We're not big bicyclists. I don't even know how to ride a bike. This is why I don't know how to ride a bike. Because of stuff like that. That's dangerous, and I don't feel like doing it.
Oh my God, man. That's so hilarious. You're talking about bikes you can't ride.
Yeah, I'm a Tour de France expert. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I played Bike Race on the app.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
It was.
All right, that concludes the sports topics we have for you all today. It is time for Say What. Mike, why don't you go first?
Okay.
You go first.
A little surprised you were very mellow today in this end segment.
Oh, we'll get there.
No, because usually you start off with a say what, but you're like, say what?
Oh, well, I'm saving my energy.
Okay. Oh God, this is scaring me now. All right. So this happened to me the other day when I was walking into Weiss or Weiss, depending on what you're calling it.
Weiss.
Weiss.
Or is it Weiss or Wise? I've heard a lot of people say Wise.
That's wise.
I'm not saying Wise. It's not spelled like Wise.
It's a valley thing, so Weiss.
Sure.
So I was walking in, and I have a specific ringtone, not like a ringtone, but a text tone for Jenna, just in case I don't have my watch and I have my ringer on, and I'd rather respond to a text from Jenna than some other person that is not as important besides her, Matt, and my boss, and my family. So her text tone, I walk into Weiss and I hear it 8 times. And I'm like, I like grab my phone because I'm so conditioned to knowing that that's Jenna. Come to find out, it was this dude's ringtone. So the thing that I want to discuss that I'm annoyed about is when someone uses a text tone as a ringtone and it repeats so many times, thinking it's multiple texts. Instead, it's just someone calling.
That is bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's bullshit.
There's a reason why there is almost dividing space between the text tones and the ringtones. Because text tones are supposed to go to text and ringtones are supposed to go when the phone rings from somebody. You don't cross over. You don't cross that white space.
I agree with you 100%. I think that's the worst thing in the world. I heard someone once, you know the alarm sound that everybody hates?
Please don't tell me they used it as a ringtone.
That was their text.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think as a society, we should be able to take that guy's phone and smash it.
Smash it.
He doesn't deserve an iPhone. No. I think there should be, like, when you sign up for an iPhone, you should have to sign that you can only use text tones for text, ringtones for calls, and alarms for alarms.
Now some of them are much longer. Like, there's like a baseball one that sounds like, it's like a bird tweeting, and then it's like baseball organs play. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, Matt.
I don't think I have.
So that's a long text tone. So like it's okay having that as a ringtone, but good Lord, like not even a second and it's a text tone and you hear bing, 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 bing. I'm like, dude, I just can't turn around and be like, that's a text tone, sir.
That should be a criminal offense. I agree.
Totally do you need some help? Do you need some help, sir? Do we need to get some help?
Oh man.
Go ahead, Matt.
My two. So I'm going to a wedding this weekend.
Oh, so you're going straight to?
What?
You said you're doing 2.
No.
Okay,
but they're both going to be about.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to do one at a time. Okay. So I'm going to a wedding this weekend. Very excited. Good friend
Matt
Aaron,
is not
Aaron is
getting married.
No,
Matt is not getting married.
I'm not. I'm single as a Pringle. My first one. So we're staying at a casino with a hotel afterwards. Hotels should allow you to bring in coolers with alcohol.
Oh, that.
They should. Because like, especially ones with casinos, because if they think that's gonna defer you from getting a drink at the bar when you're gambling, it's not, because you can just let them drink in the hotel room.
Matt, I'm gonna help you out here, pal.
Okay.
Someone who's experienced this, because I know the casino you're going to, the hotel.
Right.
You need to bring the beer. You can either bring it cold or bring it warm, but put it in your bag. Like, don't do the backpack trick. But you got to put it in the sink, like in the sink of the bathroom. And then what you got to do is you got to go down the ice machine, and then you put the ice in the sink. Boom. You have a cooler that also drains because you have it in the sink, and you also have cold beverages.
Yeah, I'm taking my big like travel suitcase, like the hard one, and I was gonna take like a small bag and be like, yeah, I got both. But like that, you should like, especially if you have a casino, like just don't let them take alcohol on the casino floor. Like they're still gonna buy the alcohol in the casino part. Just let them drink at their hotel.
Yeah, they don't have a fridge too, Matt. Just FYI, they don't have a fridge, so
that's upsetting.
Yeah. So yeah, if you need anything cold, don't expect that to.
We were just gonna fill up the bathtub, to be honest.
It's a shower.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
that sucks.
this is why I'm here.
Well,
See,
that sucks.
this is why I'm here.
Welcome back to Down in the Dumps, everybody.
Oh man. Well, speaking of bathrooms, my final say what for the day. This is kind of a what? Matt, you know when you have to go, right? Like go to the bathroom.
Number 2 or number 1?
Well, let's just say both.
Dose.
Yeah. Let's say numero dos.
Okay.
I believe that there needs to be separate bathrooms for number 1 and for number 2. Now, because how awkward. Okay, so there's a 2-person there's a 2 how do you call it? 2-person bathroom? I don't even know what the hell you call that. Like, there's a urinal that, for girls who don't know, you can stand while peeing. And then
breaking news.
And then there's a toilet, and small. And like, okay, some people may be going number 1, some people may be going number 2. Both people may be going number 1. Only one person can go number 2 in that bathroom appropriately. The thing that we need is just stalls for going number 2, or if you're uncomfortable and want to use a stall, that's fine. But there needs to be some way to separate, like, either enclosing a stall or like, because it's wide open, pal. You can hear that stuff literally. So I believe there needs to be separate bathrooms, because how awkward it is that you're trying to go to the bathroom and you can't.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right there.
Please.
So I have 2 questions before I give my opinion. Are you talking about like 2 totally separate bathrooms? Or are you talking about like separate stalls?
Either separate bathrooms or a way to isolate a stall.
So the problem with that is like, no, everyone's just going to break the rules if you separate. Like if you say this is a number 2 stall, this is a number 1 stall, people are going to go number 1 in the 2 stall and number 2 in the 1 stall.
I get it. Which is why there needs to be some sort of isolation with the stall. So
here's my other problem. The number 2 bathroom is going to be super stinky.
Okay, let's just drop the number 2. Let's just drop the number 1 bathrooms and the number 2 bathrooms. Let's just focus more on the isolation of the toilets. Okay, and then what the hell was your enclosure idea? Because that doesn't sound good either. Well, I mean, the ventilation, you know, science. Why don't we just put? Hold on. How about we just put soundproof walls? So you need to, in order. Okay, granted, you can't cover the door, but like the divider that's between the urinal and the toilet could be from roof, could be from ceiling to ground. Fair. Like that gives you a little bit more privacy, and yeah, you could get. I mean, really. I mean, I've seen some really interesting bathrooms. Like that's kind of a tourist attraction there in itself, is going to see all these crazy bathrooms and stalls that you can go in. And I think my favorite one is the whole, I'm not even gonna go into it, but I remember seeing like stalls that were completely like, literally you saw the door was the only thing that was like, you were able to see it open and close. You saw nothing else. If it was closed, it literally looked like a door to like a room. You've thought about this a lot. I literally thought about it during the show. Like you thought, no, I don't believe that. I think you had this planned for a while. No, I did not. I don't know. It seemed like you had a notepad you were reading off of. Nope. Wow. Okay. Sure. Yeah, why not? I'm in. Breaking news. Brian Cashman just said, quote, "We suck right now." So good to hear. Yeah, it's the first time in my life, by the way, as I can say, being a Yankees fan sucks, but at least I'm a Suns fan. That's weird to say. My second say what? And this is no offense, Mike. I don't know if this applies to you or not. No offense to everybody, but I feel like more of a man because I know how to tie a tie. Amen.
You know how to tie a tie?
And damn well know how to tie a tie.
It's really, I don't understand guys that be like, yo, can you help me tie this tie? It's really not that hard. If you just practice it once or twice in the mirror, it's like riding a bike, which I don't know how to ride a bike, but that's what it's like. So I just feel like an alpha male because like I do it every single time, first try.
Yeah, that also helps. I mean, guys, YouTube. Look at
yes, that's literally how I learned.
There's a farmer's tie. There's a really nice tie. Like, learn how to do the farmer's tie because then at least you learn how to tie the tie. And then you could do the loops and the extra loops and the crinkles and all that. But yeah, it just makes your job, it makes your, like, I don't know how to put this. It makes your day much worse because now you need to find somebody who knows how to tie a tie and tie the tie before whatever occasion or interview or event that you have to go to. And people say, oh, I only do clip-ons. Okay, but you should still know how to tie a tie. I feel like that's like, clip-ons are kind of like the retirement stage. Like, you don't really want to do tie a tie. Like, but a clip-on's fine.
I'm going to counter that. I have some zipper ties. Have you seen those?
Zipper ties are good too.
Yeah, zipper ties are good, and I use them occasionally. But you also, if you don't know how to tie a tie, you miss out on the feeling of tying it and coming out and everyone being like, hey, your tie looks really good. Tie. That's a great feeling. What
also is a great feeling is getting the tie at least under 3 tries instead of 5.
Yes, and also when you do it and like it goes through the loop on the back, because like sometimes I'll do it and the small part is too short and then it hangs off to the side. Awful. But yeah, just learn how to tie a tie. It's really not that hard, and then you can actually, get your man card back.
Boom, roasted. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Matt. I think tying a tie is just as important as tying your shoes.
I agree.
I think so. I
agree.
And again, there's free tutorials. There's never a wrong answer as far as how to tie a tie. Like, in all seriousness,
right?
Like, there's so many different ways to tie a tie. Why don't you learn how to do at least one?
Right. The only thing I don't know how to do is bow tie.
I don't either.
But I'll get there. Okay. Yeah. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
That the long tie. I'm never a proponent of bow ties. Like, if someone's like, oh, like, we're gonna wear bow ties, I'm gonna be like, no.
I'm not a bow tie guy. You have to be a specific guy to be a bow tie guy. I don't think we're bow tie guys.
No. My wedding's gonna have long ties.
Yes. Yes. I like the look of them better. Like, bow ties. Again, you have to be the right person for a bow tie. Like, I would not look good in a bow tie, so I don't wear them.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You are absolutely right. So, Matt, I'm happy you enlightened us with A, knowing how to tie a tie, but B, just telling everybody to be a man, learn how to tie a tie.
I'm happy we changed the future of bathrooms.
Yes. You're never going to let that down. We're going to go to a bathroom. So, funny enough, Matt and I had a fabulous day this week. Matt is enjoying the wedding or the party that is together, yada, yada, yada. And words I'm looking for. So, I think we're both going to go into a bathroom being like, so is this what you're talking about? Like,
yeah. We will have an update next episode.
So we will have an update next episode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button or that follow button on whatever your favorite listening platform of a podcast is. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Leave us a like if you enjoyed it. Leave us a comment if you have to share your own thoughts about tying ties in bathroom stalls and urinals or those urinal cakes as far as those odors that go off with them. You can follow us on our social media at solo.to/funnybusiness. And last, but certainly not least, Matt, what is your advice for the people of funny business?
This one I think is pretty good. This is for those that like obviously work a lot, like full-time jobs, put on a lot of hours. Take some time. Take a day off once in a while. Days off are much needed. I've been working a lot the last couple of weeks. I haven't really had many days off, so I'm excited to take a day off on Friday for the wedding. Today for the wedding. It's just we all need a mental break to shut down. Maybe you check your emails once or twice during the day. That's fine, just so you know what you're going into. But take a day once in a while. I'm not saying every week. I'm not even saying every month. Maybe if you take 2 days off every other month, that's fine. But take some time to yourself.
And make sure you burn the time that you're given.
Yes.
I actually did that this week. I had Monday off, believe it or not. And let me tell you, it was great. Like, yeah, you work sometimes gets into you, but it was great to just have the time to not be in the office, not be dressed up, be in my shorts, and just enjoy yourself. So, Matt, I'm glad you are going to enjoy your time off with a wedding.
I knew I needed this day off when I was going to bed last night at like 11:30. And I was like thinking about all the stuff I have to do at work this week. I was like, yeah, I need a day off. That's when you know.
It's when, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Well, until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.